In the shadowy recesses of a grand old Victorian mansion, an innocent doll lay forgotten, abandoned to the ravages of time. Once a cherished playmate, it now sat alone in the attic, a silent sentinel keeping watch over a realm of dusty memories. Its porcelain face, once a picture of childlike innocence, was now marred with cracks, and its dress, once vibrant and full of color, had faded into a ghost of its former self. One stormy night, as the mansion cowered beneath the wrath of the elements, something stirred within the doll. As the lightning flashed and thunder roared, the doll's eyes, long closed in a semblance of sleep, snapped open. A sinister smile spread across its cracked face, a chilling sight in the flickering shadows. With a grim determination that belied its dainty form, the doll began its descent from the attic. Every creaking step it took echoed through the empty halls of the mansion, a haunting lullaby in the heart of the storm. It navigated the corridors with an eerie familiarity, its tiny footsteps growing louder as it neared its destination. As dawn broke, the storm subsided, but the silence that ensued was far from comforting. The family awoke to a sight that sent chills down their spines. There, at the head of the dining table, sat the forgotten doll. It was surrounded by a chaotic scene. Broken dishes lay scattered around, shards of porcelain reflecting the early morning sunlight, and bloodied scraps of fabric littered the polished wooden floor. The doll's eyes seemed to gleam with an unnatural light as it sat amidst the wreckage, a triumphant monarch on a throne of destruction. The family could only stare in horror, their breaths hitching in their throats as they took in the gruesome tableau. It was then that they noticed the doll's smile. It was not the innocent grin of a child's plaything, but a chilling smirk that spoke of dark secrets and untold horrors. The realization dawned on them, cold and unforgiving like the storm of the previous night, and they discovered, with a chilling realization, that the doll was never meant to be left alone. Sarah, an unsuspecting woman, came into possession of an antique mirror, oblivious to the dark secrets it held within. This was no ordinary mirror, it was a legacy, a mysterious inheritance from her grandmother. Little did she know its reflective surface held more than just the power to show one's reflection. It was a portal to the unseen, a gateway to the world of shadows. As days turned into nights, Sarah found herself inexplicably drawn to the mirror. It was as if it whispered to her, a soft, chilling murmur that seeped into the quiet of the night, filling her dreams with eerie figures and strange occurrences. The mirror's surface, once clear and pristine, now seemed to ripple and distort, revealing shadowy figures lurking within its depths. A sense of unease began to stir within Sarah. The whispers grew louder, the figures more menacing, their presence more palpable. In a desperate attempt to silence the whispers and banish the figures, Sarah decided to cover the mirror. She draped a heavy sheet over it, hoping it would lock away the unnerving figures and mute the chilling whispers. But the mirror was not so easily silenced. When dawn broke, Sarah found the sheet shredded into tatters on the floor, the mirror standing tall and unblemished, its reflective surface gleaming ominously in the morning light. Fear turned into desperation, and Sarah decided to take a drastic step. She picked up a heavy iron rod and, with a strength born out of terror, she swung it at the mirror. The sound of shattering glass filled the room as shards of the mirror flew in every direction. For a fleeting moment, Sarah felt relief, a brief respite from the haunting mirror, but then she looked down. There, among the shards of glass, she saw her own reflection, only it wasn't her, not really. The reflection wore her face, but the eyes were different, darker, malevolent, and the grin, that wasn't her grin. It was a twisted, sinister smile that sent a shiver down her spine. It was as if the mirror had held a part of her, a dark, terrifying part she never knew existed. Sarah had broken the mirror, but she had not broken its curse. The whispers had turned into screams, the figures into grotesque apparitions, and her reflection, it was her, but not her. Her own image, now twisted into a horrifying caricature, was a stark reminder of the mirror's dark legacy. As the shards of glass fell, Sarah caught a glimpse of her reflection, a sinister grin that was not her own. Her horror was now multiplied, her fear magnified. The mirror might have shattered, but its haunting continued, forever etched in the shards of glass and in Sarah's tormented soul. Young Tommy and his friends, drawn by the allure of the unknown, stumbled upon an abandoned carnival hidden deep within the woods. Its once vibrant attraction stood silent, now overgrown and rusted, a haunting testament to the joyous laughter and gleeful shrieks that once echoed through the tall trees. The friends, their hearts pounding with the thrill of exploration, ventured deeper into the desolate carnival, ignoring the warning signs that Mother Nature had strewn in their path. As they navigated the maze of dilapidated rides and crumbling game booths, they began to hear unsettling sounds. Laughter, so faint it was almost lost in the rustling leaves, seemed to drift on the wind. Echoing footsteps followed them, always a step behind, as if played by the shadows themselves. Yet they were undeterred, their youthful curiosity pushing them further into the forgotten carnival. Then, without warning, the carousel creaked to life. Its rusty gears groaned and its faded horses began to rise and fall, slowly at first, then gaining speed. The lights, long dormant, flickered back to life, casting an eerie glow over the ancient ride. The friends froze, their hearts gripped by fear as they watched the spectral show unfold. And then they saw them, ghostly figures of children, their faces obscured by time, riding the ancient horses. Their laughter, once faint, now filled the air, a chilling chorus that echoed through the deserted carnival. Each spectral child turned to look at them, their eyes hollow and their smiles frozen in a moment of eternal mirth. Terrified, Tommy and his friends turned to run, their laughter now replaced by panicked breaths. But the carnival had changed. The once straightforward paths twisted and turned, leading them back to the carousel, its spectral riders still spinning in an endless cycle of ghostly delight. They ran and ran, their hearts pounding in their chests, their breaths coming in ragged gasps. But no matter how far they ran or how many turns they took, they always ended up back at the carousel. The laughter of the ghostly children seemed to grow louder with each failed attempt to escape, their hollow eyes watching the friends' futile efforts with amusement. Slowly the realization dawned on them. They were trapped. The carnival, once a place of joy and laughter, had transformed into a never-ending nightmare, its spectral occupants forever bound to its rusted rides and crumbling game booths. And now it seemed so were they. But the carnival seemed to stretch endlessly, trapping them within its nightmarish realm. 3 tales of horror, each one more chilling than the last. The forgotten doll, a seemingly innocent plaything left to gather dust, that comes to life in the dead of night. It creeps, it smiles, it leaves behind a scene of chaos that chills the blood. Then there's the haunted mirror, an inherited antique that reflects not just the physical but the spectral, whispering voices, eerie apparitions, and a reflection that grins with malevolent delight. Finally, we journeyed to the abandoned carnival. A place of supposed joy turned into a realm of endless nightmares, a carousel that spins on its own ghostly laughter, and an escape that seems eternally out of reach. Each tale, a dance with the macabre, a brush with the unexplainable, a glimpse into the shadows that lurk in the corners of reality. Remember, these could be true. Sleep well if you can.